from the Caribbean Climate Network, 350.org. You have arrived at the Caribbean Climate Network Climate Chats, and we are talking about climate change in our region. It's the change in climate due to fossil fuel emissions. It's real and it's affecting our ocean, air, land, and even our culture. I'm Katrina Khan Roberts.
And I'm Natalia Jackson.
And we are here today to talk about climate and health. So Natalia, tell me, how is the Sahara dust affecting you right now?
Honestly, the Sahara has been insane, especially within this last week here. I remember I was looking out at the northern range and I saw it was rain. Like the place was covered and it was dark and it was gloomy. And I'm like locking up my windows thinking it's about to like be thunderstorming. Days later, it's still like that, no storm. And then I'm realizing, I'm talking to my friends in Barbados and they're like, no, it's like a horrible Sahara dust that's happening right now. And everyone's like just kind of coughing, and I'm seeing like I'm going out and I'm seeing people with masks on, just trying to protect themselves and their families. And I'm thinking about babies and kids who are like affected by this amount of dust.
Exactly. And yeah, so both of us are in Trinidad, so we're both experiencing this. I'm from South, and I swear it's like sometimes you look outside and the sky is a whole different color. It's strange because I've been to very polluted cities like Delhi and Shanghai and stuff like that, where you can't even breathe and it feels like that. And but those are like really, really man-made things, and now this is like a natural climate impact that is happening in nature. So I thought that was really interesting, and I'm going to be coughing during this interview too because it is affecting me, and I've never had this in my whole life.
I feel like I've never really seen this amount of Sahara dust in like, it's only been like 2020 come back. I don't think I remember ever seeing it being this bad in like 2019 or 2018. It probably was, but it was like, it literally looked like a plague is coming over, and you could literally see it in the sky, how just dark the place is. And then like, I remember at morning I woke up and I was just coughing, like my nose was running, and I thought I was sick, like I was coming down with something. And then I kind of like, couple of days passed by, it's still happening, and I realized it's literally just the dust, and like you see it on your floors and outside everywhere. It just has like a film. It's like a movie almost.
Yeah, it's like one of those filters in Mad Max. Oh my god, it's not funny, but we laugh. It's like the next thing too is like how Zika and chikungunya and all of these viruses are coming about because water is where a lot of these vector-borne these vectors are, right? So mosquitoes. And we in the Caribbean, I don't know what it is about us right now, but because there's so much stagnant water, there's just so many mosquitoes that I never really saw in this quantity and size. Oh gosh. In Central right now is like, what is going on? Why is there so much like fever is going around, and you're not sure if it's dengue and all of that because you're not bothering to go get tested, right?
Yeah.
So like all of these people just exposed, you're exposed to so many health issues already. So you have like the vector-borne diseases, you have the waterborne diseases like just drinking dirty water and stuff like that, and being affected by the flooding and stagnant water you're walking through, parasites, all sorts of stuff. It's strange. Yeah. I feel like, even the heat and the dehydration, those things affect our health too.
I remember a time my friends and I were to the beach and they were afraid of like sharks and stuff. I was like, the most deadliest animal is a mosquito. Like, I used to freak out anytime I would see mosquitoes when I was younger because I knew like how severe or like what they carry is so severe. And I remember in like biology and CXC, we'd learn about all these ways that we could like treat having or like stop having mosquitoes breed. Like we could put some oil in our stagnant water and we clear up. And I remember that the government at the time was doing this whole large like initiative to like where it is we would see like cars spraying out the streets and they would tell you to open up your windows. I haven't seen that in a while, actually. Like someone passed by and they fumigate. But yeah, like it was so bad at a certain point. I remember, especially with dengue and Zika were going around.
Yeah, I had chikungunya for my wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Like full body spots and fever. It was great.
Wow. I even forgot about chikungunya because at one point in time that was going around really badly.
Yeah. It's strange, like, and especially with like we are creating the problem and now we have to create more problems to deal with that problem. So it's like this you were talking about. So the reason why mosquitoes proliferate is a couple issues. Is one, yes, the heat and the temperature and the water and all of that stuff too, right? But because climate change is also making it such a strange variability now, we have all the stagnant water from the sporadic rain. Plenty of people like cast in the ground and there's a lot of pools of water that you don't realize are there. And then neighbors are leaving their things all over the place, collecting water. And the thing is, we are now creating this habitat for this pest. And now, because we want to spray it to manage the problem that we have created, we're now creating other problems because that spray is not good for us either.
At all.
So it's like, it's the same thing with, in my opinion, antibiotic resistance. Because if you keep taking antibiotics every single time you get sick, you don't know if it's a virus, and antibiotics don't actually help when you have a virus. You're supposed to just ride it out and, manage your symptoms. So that's one of the things I realize now in our healthcare system. They don't actually just give you antibiotics anymore. You can't just prescribe antibiotics. They're actually waiting for, more information than just saying, okay, well, here's a course of antibiotics and you go on ahead, So I feel like with climate change, things are adapting and shifting. And of course, with knowledge as well, we hope that we are making better decisions. So one other thing I wanted to ask you specifically is like, in terms of the heat and hydration, right? Now we really just entered the rainy season in Trinidad, so it's getting very cool and cold. But how did you feel during the dry season with this hydration and like keeping hydrated?
Honestly, the sun has been so horrible. I suffer from migraines and my eyes are really light sensitive. So I have an entire routine that I have to complete before I could actually step outside in the sun. And I'm talking about 5 minutes without this routine, I have a migraine for days. So I have to properly hydrate. I have to have a meal, like a really balanced full meal. I have to put on sunblock and wear protective gears and make sure my glasses are tinted at a certain amount where it doesn't affect me. And every time I do this like routine, I think about people who are like laborers and workers and the people who sell on the highway. Like they may not have access to the things that I have access to, like my glasses, for instance, is coated with the transition. They don't have these things. Like sometimes I see them wearing like protective gear, etc. But how much access do they have? And like for instance, I cannot like go out in the sun for more than a few hours without it literally draining me. Like I'm even at 9 a.m. It's harsh, it's hot, and like 2 p.m. is like probably the worst time to be outside. So that's how it is. I've been kind of like trying to combat it.
Wow, yeah, I'm very sorry that you have to live in the Caribbean because that is literally what our weather is like. You're going to be having to do all of that extra preparation. And I'm sure there are lots of people who are sensitive, even like, the special needs kids and stuff like that, who have that sensitivity and stuff. So my son is like that as well. It is a lot to consider, in terms of resource use as well, So climate change is impacting our health. It is impacting everything around us. And again, we're just bringing it more to your mind's eye that we in the Caribbean are so vulnerable and we need to start adapting. And do we have what we need to adapt,
Are we having any conversations to know when to adapt and how to adapt as well? Because I remember I read an article a few days ago where a lot of Indian citizens died because of a heat wave when their temperatures were about 46 degrees Celsius, the highest.
Yeah.
If something like that was to happen here, it would be even more catastrophic because we cannot handle that.
Yeah, we can handle COVID. We can handle a lot of things. can handle a lot of stuff right now. So, Natalia, I thank you so very much. I don't know if you have any closing remarks.
Not really. I mean, we kind of touched on a bit about everything, about climate and health, and how climate change is already a health issue in the Caribbean. Right now, we just need to come up with ways to adapt and become aware of what is worse and what looks like in our future. So that's about it for me.
Exactly. And thank you so very much, Natalia. That was an amazing insight. And thank you for sharing your experiences with us. So that was today's episode. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned and follow 350.org's Caribbean Climate Network on social media. Bye.
Bye.